In this How to Win is Hungary, I'm going to show you how to defeat the Ottomans, vassalize Byzantium, and conquer the Balkans by 1500. So if that sounds like what you're looking for, keep watching. So, day 1. Firstly, you're going to want to rival the Ottomans and Poland and Lithuania. Then ally Austria, and look to ally Bohemia and the Teutons. This is to limit Poland's expansion. You're then going to want to build as many infantry units as possible in order to complete your mission, which is to have a larger army than Poland, if you're rival to them. Then build a spy network in Wallachia and Serbia, and sort out your estates. Make sure to leave one estate privilege slot free with the nobility, and also to take the expansionist zealotry privilege, which gives you plus 5% morale when fighting heretics and heathens. You're then going to want to focus on military, and send a missionary to a province. Then put your maintenance slider down to 0, as we're going to be trying to flip to Orthodox, as it's just generally a better religion, and will also mean that you are constantly getting a plus 5% morale bonus due to your estate privilege. Then unpause. At this point, you're going to want to mothball your forts and wait for the event which gives you Hunyadi as a leader. As soon as you can, use the best casus belli, also known as the no casus belli, and attack Byzantium. This should be a relatively easy war, but be wary of Byzantium's allies. The Ottomans won't give you military access, so just wait until they give it to someone else and you'll be able to march into their lands. During this war, you're going to want to vassalize Byzantium and also Athens, as well as taking money. The reason you want to vassalize both of these is it gives you access to the strong duchy's estate privilege from the nobility, which grants minus 10% liberty desire as well as plus 2 diplomatic relation slots. One very important thing to note is do not peace out if your troops are in Byzantine territory. This will result in you being trapped and unable to get home, which I learned the hard way several times. Next, you're going to want to provoke a revolt of Orthodox zealots. Once you've done this, you can improve your stability back to 0. Make sure you mothball your forts so that the rebels can take provinces quite easily. And when they go to siege down your capital, take this as an opportunity to de-siege your land away from the rebels. This is because when religious rebels take a province, they convert it. And so you want them to siege down as many of your provinces as possible. If they take provinces that are equal to more than half of your development, they'll enforce their demands. So you obviously want them to convert as many provinces as possible before this, which you can achieve by de-sieging stuff they've sieged, although if you do it when they're not sieging down a fort, they will come and attack you, so be wary of this. During this time, you're also going to want to be improving relations with Albania. Next step is to attack the Ottomans. I know this might be a little bit nerve-wracking for some of you, so if this is the case, wait until they're embroiled in a war in the east, potentially against one of the Turkish miners, like Dulkadir, and then attack them. You're going to want to call in Albania promising them land. Additionally, you're going to want to consecrate metropolitans in 2 states. You might have to develop one of your states to have the required 30 development in order to consecrate a metropolitan. What this does is it gives you 10% patriarch authority, which you can then choose the icon that gives you plus 5% discipline, which is very important. Additionally, get a military advisor, as well as the free company if you think you need them. You're going to want to rush to Gelibolu and station half of your men in Constantinople. If the Ottomans attempt to cross, make sure to reinforce all battles. You should be able to win this, especially with Skanderbeg or Hunyadi present in the battles, though it might be close. The reason we're calling in Albania is obviously because of Skanderbeg, but more importantly, Hunyadi might die during this war, which would leave you with a mediocre general facing the Ottomans, which is not ideal. Once you've taken both Edirne and Gelibolu, station men in Edirne, Kirkkalise, and and station them in the provinces bordering those next to the strait crossings. This is to encourage the Ottomans to cross, at which point you can attack them for more war score, as well as lowering their war enthusiasm. When you have 80% war score and they're on low, you'll be able to enforce your demands. What you're going to want to do is give all of Byzantium's cores back to them, including Edirne, and take Vidin. Once again, make sure that your troops are home before you do this. This has been a very painful lesson to learn. Once at peace, release Bulgaria. From here, you're going to want to recover, both in terms of manpower and economically. You can also start annexing vassals. There are one of 2 options here. You can start annexing the smaller ones, such as Athens in Croatia, in order to free up a diplo slot, or you can focus on Byzantium first, as the Hungarian economy is not strong and you're almost totally dependent on your gold mine. Either Wallachia or Serbia will be guaranteed by the Ottomans, most likely. Pick the one that isn't and attack them. You should be able to fully annex them in one war without any coalitions. If this is Serbia and they've allied Bosnia, you can easily separate peace Bosnia for a white peace by stationing some men on the capital and sieging the rest of their land. I wouldn't recommend taking any of their land until a later war. Additionally, you can attack Epirus in order to get Byzantium its core back. Also, if you're feeling bold, or the Mamluks have attacked the Ottomans, you could potentially reset your truce with the Ottomans by attacking the nation that has been guaranteed by them. Although I wouldn't recommend this. It's also worth noting that the Mamluks have a tendency to turn friendly towards you, and they're quite a good ally to have as a failsafe. So during this time of peace, your favours with Austria will have been ticking up. By the time your truce with the Ottomans has ended, you should have 10 favours with Austria. This makes the second war versus the Ottomans incredibly easy. The same day that your truce ends, attack the Ottomans. Make sure to call in Austria, as between them and your vassal swarm, it makes this war trivial. If possible, try to rush across the strait and take Biga. This is because the Ottoman navy has a tendency to be slow or mothballed due to the impact you've had on the first war and any successive wars they've had to fight. It may well be a good idea to station 2,000 men across from Biga, rush across the strait at the start of the war in order to secure it. Due to the nature of this war, it's a good idea to let your vassals and Austria do the heavy lifting for you, but it is still the Ottomans, so make sure to reinforce any battles that do occur. At the end of this war, you're going to want to give Bulgaria all of its cores, as well as the province in southern Albania, and take Kokakeli for yourself. This will give you easy access to the rest of the Ottoman lands in future wars, so you don't need to worry about naval dominance. It's also a good idea to take money, as you might be able to force the Ottomans to go bankrupt, however they are no longer a threat after this war. So, from here, you should focus on integrating your vassals. By 1500, there is the strong possibility that you'll be in control of the entire Balkans. This sets you up quite nicely, and you should be towards the top end of the Great Powers list. So focus on cleaning up the Balkans and heading into Poland when possible, either calling in Austria and Bohemia, or waiting for them to be attacked by Muscovy. You might also be able to attack Naples, depending on the situation with the Iberians. I would advise that you focus on alternating expansion between religious groups, so the Muslims in the Middle East and the Christians to your northeast. I would also advise to form a strong power base before attempting to attack into the HRE in order to fulfill your missions and weaken Austria. Though at that point, you should be way too dominant for anyone to do anything about it. As for ideas, quantity is always a solid choice, especially when you have 2 gold mines and are looking to be constantly expanding, as well as influence due to the amount of valuable vassals that you can have in the Middle East, such as Syria and the Timurids potentially. So, thank you guys for watching. Do let me know if this guide has helped you, as well as any other nations that you'd like me to cover. Goodbye.
Hello, my children. I must give you a message. Subscribe to the social streamers for eternal salvation.